Well, hello, my beautiful Aquarians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for mid-March right through to mid-April 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. I'm going to cleanse your space hourly, so please be mindful. There's going to be 3 loud sounds. Let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Aquarians, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. So let us begin. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aquarians? What do they need to know regarding their current circumstances? Can you please show them the way? What do they need to be aware of regarding their career and their financial situation at this time? Well, the first card there is the higher calling. So this is the judgment card. So this can indicate that you're judging something in your circumstances right now. You're trying to understand what it is you need to do in order to move forward with your direction and your finances. But also it can indicate that some of you are like cutting things out that perhaps you don't need, because the judgment card is to leave something behind in order to embrace something better. So it could be that you're looking at service providers or subscriptions or, goods that perhaps you've evolved away from that you don't need anymore. And it could be that you're finding a better deal elsewhere in order to have more money in your pocket, but also utilize a really great service there. For some of you, this is you tapping into your higher calling. You are called to do something at this time and you have a sense of purpose to move forward with it. A lot of you with that high priestess energy that's in the center there, you could be working on something in secret right now. Maybe a secret move or a secret project that you're about to launch, something you've been working on behind the scenes that is totally in alignment with your sense of purpose. And I really feel it's a fresh new start here. Now this could be like a new approach. It doesn't have to be like a new environment. It can be that you are discovering a new way to do something that actually is more time efficient, sets you free. Maybe you find like a new app that helps you with your finances to budget or strategize. It could also be that, that was intense energy. So a lot of you could be making like a brand new start somewhere else. It could be that you're putting your resume out there at this time and trying to find an alternative opportunity where, it could be a new industry. Maybe you're going into something completely new right now. How would you like to receive? Oh, wow. Okay. So we have the 2 of Pentacles and we have the Judgment card again. Okay. So this really indicates that some of you, I just get this energy from some of you, not all of you, because the 2 of Pentacles is present. It can indicate that you're doing something that is steady and, it's something that brings in a certain amount of money, but you may be doing something else, like launching something new. Maybe it's something private that is going to bring in extra money for you there. We'll tap into that in a moment. The Lover's card, yeah, that's the duality card, which means you're going to be doing something that you love that is a side to something that you already do. For some of you, it's something you've been thinking about for some time. This could be the next 6 weeks where you launch it. Maybe for some of you, because you have that King of Swords energy, it's digital. It could be something online. Perhaps there's some sort of like social media platform that you're partnering up with or a brand deal. If you're not online, this could be, a person that you really have a lot of respect for. You could network with this person or get some ideas with this person or even like build like a new project with this person for some of you, because the Lover's card can indicate that, you're working together with somebody, okay? But because looking at the energy, we've only got the King of Swords as a person, and of course this is a person of air, this can indicate that you're thinking about going solo on something, or, you are watching someone do something that you would love to do, and you may be just getting ideas, but putting a fresh new spin on it so that you can be your authentic self and launch something that is totally different, but you're looking at the structure of what it is that they do. It's almost like you avoid the pitfalls. If someone's doing something that you know, are called to do at this time, you could be just watching how they do it and think, okay, right, that's how it's done. So I'm going to strategize and structure it in a way where you may launch it on the side of something, or maybe it's something that you're, you know, completely putting your whole heart and soul into. And I feel it is a fresh start, because look at that. Ace of Swords, new idea put into practice. You know, the universe is sending you opportunities to transform your career in some way. And, you know, the Two of Pentacles in the center indicates second streams of income, or, you know, some sort of alternative money that comes in. For some of you, you know, if you work for a company, for example, it could be that there's a small incentive. There could be like new responsibility or a new role in the works that is talked about. And, you know, you may get to negotiate a better salary. So they may ask you what it is that you're looking for in terms of salary, and they may offer you a little bit less than you truly deserve, but you may ask for more than you're actually really wanting. You know, you're keeping the true figure to yourself, and they may negotiate you down until you get to that figure that actually you want. So I feel like you're being very clever about your finances at this time. Now, if you're currently out of work and you've come to this reading, whether you were made redundant or you lost your job or walked away from something that was toxic, I do see a role of status coming in towards you. You may have two opportunities come in. One of them actually is like a leadership role. The other one feels like it's the power behind the throne. It just feels like a support role or an assistant kind of role there as well. And, you know, obviously one is going to be more money than the other. Of course, it feels like a no-brainer that, you know, the role of status, there's more responsibility and more work there. Very cerebral. I feel like, you know, you're someone who is very intelligent. It requires your intelligence, your attention to detail. I mean, if you know the Tarot as well, you'll know that the King of Swords is connected to the Judgment card. So there's a lot of judgment going on here. A lot of you could be like looking at where you feel like you're at, okay, and really wondering, where do you want to end up? What is your soul purpose? So you could be questioning your path right now, even though you may be in a role that, you know, for some of you that you enjoy, or if you're currently out of work, it could be an industry that you were in and you're wondering, is this something I want to return to, or do you want something alternative? Can you migrate your skills into some sort of new arena? So these could be questions that are going on right now because you have so much judgment energy. So if you're currently looking for a role, I would say that there is two opportunities here. One is higher paid than the other. I mean, you'll make your decision, and I feel you will sign a contract by the end of the 6 weeks. I feel there's something coming on in here that really suits your skill set. And for some of you, it may be that this leadership position requires you to oversee a team or judge, be a mediator for some of you, or it could be that, what else am I getting there? It could be that you like guide people in some way. You have a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. So it could be that you're imparting wisdom to help people or guide people. You know, for some of you, I mean, you could be like using all that knowledge. Look at that beautiful face there. That's so much wisdom and experience. So for some of you, because it's in the resistance position, you may feel that you don't have the experience in a sector that you're moving into, but actually, you know, you're not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. You can migrate skills, and you'll see that you can actually, you know, really make this role your own. And I feel it's a really great fresh start. So if you are looking for a role, there's definitely something coming on in here for you. Now, for those of you who are not looking for a role and you're just currently like looking at your circumstances, the Judgment card indicates that you may move into a period of higher learning, or you're called to do something above and beyond in your industry to really set you apart from other people. Okay, so I feel like you're following your sense of purpose this month, and you're working really hard to either launch something, whether it's a new approach or a new project. For some of you, it could be a new client, because we do have that King of Swords energy. If you're an entrepreneur, you may feel called to expand your reach, maybe even, I want to say move overseas, because, you know, we've got that full card there. So it's like going across water in this card. So if you are currently trying to work out how to structure your business or migrate your business, for example, you know, with that High Priestess in the resistance position, a lot of you may feel that the information on that is hidden. Like it's so hard. And you may have to utilize the skills of an advisor or someone who has the qualifications to help you create some sort of legal structure there. You don't want to misstep. So I would say that this person gives you great advice. You may have to pay for it, of course. That's what I'm seeing there, but I feel it's worth it because it just gives you the freedom to not worry about creating legal structures, you know, carefully and to the law, the letter of the law. Okay, so that's something that's coming up there. Now, for some of you, not all of you, I am getting an energy because there's so much judgment here, and we do have the King of Swords. Some of you may actually have some sort of letter come in that you have to do jury service. So yeah, I'm feeling that. So some of you may have to talk to your boss and get some time off to do the jury service. So please take it as it resonates. For some of you, you're going to see that as like, yay, I'm free, and you get to do something different. But for others, it could be that, you know, you still have a lot on your plate and a lot to do right now. So for some of you, it's about balancing the two. Okay, so that may be something that you're thinking about right now. Moving away from that energy, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is your protagonist energy. So you could be looking at all the hard work that you're doing, because this card tells me that you work super hard. Whatever it is that you're doing, you put your whole heart and soul into it. True grit, perseverance. You know, I feel this is you being very industrious. You're being organized and structured in the next coming weeks, and you know, you're working towards a common goal that will benefit you and your family or your soul tribe in some way. But ultimately, that, you know, Knight of Pentacles there, it indicates that, you know, you're in a stable position in your role. I feel like you are doing something that's not traditional, but I feel like you are taking a path that is tried and tested, let's put it that way. But you may also be interested in reinvesting in yourself in some way through a course of learning. This card can indicate that your industry is kind of like at a standstill position where, you know, I mean, the knight always has the suit of armor, which is like braced for change or braced for some sort of like challenging time. So it can indicate that financially you're being very savvy with your finances, that you are creating some sort of like plan or budget to strategize any economic difficulty at this time. Now, a lot of you as well could be looking at your resources that you've worked really hard to save or, you know, protect at this time. And with that Fool card, you could be thinking about retirement, or you're looking at how hard you've been working and when you want to retire. So it could be like a retirement plan or a 401k plan that you're looking at right now, where you're kind of like wondering, the money that you're on right now, is this going to be effective enough for you to retire on? Some of you, you may have many different 401ks, and maybe you're thinking about amalgamating them all together. But with that Two of Pentacles in the resistance position, a lot of you are thinking about implementing a second stream of income or launching something new that will diversify your funds and increase them. It can be as simple as like finding a financial institution that pays more interest on your money. Okay. For others, it could literally be that you're launching something that you've been working really hard to accomplish, and it could be online. A lot of you could be getting digital because, of course, you know, our world is moving towards a very digital age across the board. So it can be that you're looking at your industry and how you could either make it digital, or, you know, if you're someone who's very creative, you know, hands-on, you're making stuff. It could be that you're putting something online, creating like a website, for example, because swords, they're all about the ether, the internet, you know, apps and things like that. So it could be that you're creating something where people can see what you're about. For some of you, you know, you could be utilizing your knowledge because you're someone who actually holds quite an important position in the role that you're in right now. You're really good at what you do. You're steady, and you're someone who is, you know, determined and professional and hardworking and faithful to your cause. But, you know, you have a wealth of knowledge that some of you, and don't shoot the messenger when I say this, because King of Swords is in the resistance position, some of you may not be utilizing that knowledge fully. Could be that you could create a course of learning online for people to download, or maybe a handbook, or maybe a novel or a screenplay or a piece of art or something that you could like get your message out there that people could download or see. And maybe it's something to create passive income, because the Two of Pentacles is always like passive income. Okay, so some of you, it could be just that you're brainstorming ideas right now quietly and strategizing the best way to launch something new. And if you're an entrepreneur already, I would definitely say that you branching out, or this idea that you've got, it's something that people will kind of like how I'm seeing it right now, it's like if it's a brand, people are going to leave one brand to come to your brand. If it's like a book or a novel, it could be that, you know, when people finish the novel that they're reading, they're going to come to your novel, for example. I just feel like you're attracting a lot of attention because I'm just getting this energy of the judgment cards, right? I read intuitively and I read energetically. And as you can see, higher calling, these people are looking in this direction. But your outcome, it's like these people are now looking at you. Okay, so I definitely see here, no matter whatever it is that you're doing that is connected to your higher purpose, people are locked on, they're noticing you, you're going to get recognized for what you do, and your reputation is going to increase, okay? And you're going from a Knight of Pentacles here to a King of Swords energy, which means there is some sort of status, more responsibility, but also your plan that you're strategizing right now, it is going to work, whatever it is. So not everybody is going to want second streams of income. It can be that you're moving into a promotion at this time if you work for a company, for example, and there's a small increase in your finances. I mean, Two of Pentacles, you're going to be very busy. You're going to be multitasking. There's a lot more responsibility that goes with that, you know, but also I feel it will be worth it, and you will staircase your finances later on as well. There's more money to be had in that role. For some of you, this could be that, you know, you found your industry is challenging and, you know, you may be doing a steady role. You may stay in that role for some of you because the Lover's card is a choice. You know, your options are, do I do this thing and set something else up on the side? You know, I'm just getting like this energy of, for some of you, you may be working in a corporate role, but then on the side, you're doing something very creative, like, you know, making cakes or creating art or, you know, fixing things or selling pre-loved goods, for example. So it could be that you're doing two things. It doesn't have to be a corporate role. It can be like you're doing a role that brings in a steady amount of money, because this is like steady streams of income. And the Two of Pentacles can indicate, you know, an alternative path or some sort of like cherry on top when it comes to finances. The Lover's card, it's like, do you do this one thing? Do you do two things? Can you make the things work together? Do they complement each other? Do you have the time? Are you spreading yourself thin? You know, some of you are looking at your options right now because, you know, I got to be honest with you, I didn't choose the cards. They popped out. All these cards are like weighing up your options. So a lot of you are thinking deeply about something. You're soul searching in your work, trying to find meaning in your work right now. And you're called to do something at this time that you're setting up some sort of strategy or plan to make it happen. Okay. And it will happen, and it'll be a major breakthrough for you there as well. Because the Lover's card is choice. The Judgment card is judging. It is like weighing up options. It's about leaving one thing that perhaps you've completed or you're like outgrowing at this time in order to do something more that you love. For some of you, this could be like networking opportunities where suddenly you realize this is your calling, and it's something that you suddenly launch yourself into because you're launching yourself into something right there. Now, on a more grounded level, a lot of you, it can be that you're doing something that you love and you're tying up loose ends on projects. You may be going on a vacation, for example, and you know, you're busy in the fray of getting stuff done. You could be looking at a lot of endings because the Judgment card, it is in some way connected to the Death card, where it really is like a wake-up call, you know, where you need to finish something in order to get busy doing something else. And you do have that Fool card energy, which means like you're starting a new project or you're starting a new like spreadsheet or whatever it is that you do. Could be like a new piece of art or a new book, or you know, everybody does something different, so please apply it to your situation. But the High Priestess is there, which means you are, you know, having faith that it's going to work for you, but you may be keeping it quiet at this time because you don't want to put any negative spins on it. You're just like formulating a plan. And also, you know, this card in this position, it means like you may be throwing caution to the wind in launching something. Like, I would say you're being someone who's got the knowledge, though. I would say that, you know, make sure you have everything in place before you do that, because the Fool card can be like rushing into something that is not ready sometimes because you're feeling restless. And because you've got these cards, I would say, you know, there is a temptation, especially with these cards in these positions at first, because this is the resistance position, which means anything that's in the resistance position, it's initially in the reverse, but it will go into the upright. So I would say, you know, sit and think, strategize, have your plan, and then launch, because I feel this is something that's going to benefit you. I mean, if you're deciding to leave a position, I would say don't rush into anything. I feel actually you're going to get 2 opportunities presented to you before you leave, and then you'll make your decision. But I see a lot of you, fresh new start there. You're leaving one place in order to get something better somewhere else, because you may have felt that you hit a glass ceiling where you're at, and you may be doing this on the sly. You may be like putting your resume out there, finding opportunities, and then suddenly you have to have a meeting with your boss if you work for a company and say, you know what, I'm giving you my notice. It's time to go. Okay. Some of you may have to do some sort of like gardening leave or like, period where you have to work out your notice and then you move into a new role. So I definitely see this fresh new start is something that you can really grow in, and it's very exciting as well. And I do feel actually it brings in a little bit more money than what you're on right now there as well. Even though things are economically a little bit challenging, I still feel that you find the opportunity that is right for you there too. Now, 2 of Pentacles, it can indicate that, some of you are like a little bit overwhelmed with all the projects that you have on right now. So you're prioritizing, I feel like you are kind of like at capacity. A lot of you may enjoy aspects of what it is that you do, but I feel like you're finding a more efficient way of doing whatever it is that you do, because these 2 cards will go into the upright, which means that, of course, you're getting everything in order. I feel like you're organized, structured, serious, productive, and, I feel like you're bringing your A game there. But I do feel some of you may be planning a way of being more time efficient or restructuring your schedule in some way. That's definitely coming through there as well. Now, this card indicates as well, if you're doing something that you're about to launch, protect your intellectual property, okay? Patent it, copyright it, whatever it is. I definitely say that, there could be people watching, and if, they've got less on their plate to do right now than you have, they may try to get there quicker than you. So I would just say, make sure you own it before you launch it. That's something that's coming through there as well. And I mean, because we got that King of Swords in the resistance position with the 2 of Pentacles, some of you, not all of you, but I'm getting a strong indication that some of you may discover a secret from someone who's doing something that perhaps they shouldn't be doing, okay? Because the King of Swords in the resistance position, this could be someone who is like trying to cut corners. I mean, this doesn't have to be in business. This could be like personally, it could be like a landlord as well as a boss. It could be maybe even like a governmental figure, for example, who does something or tries to implement something in your industry and you feel, hang on a minute, that's not acceptable. That's not going to work. So it could be that you're keeping your eyes peeled or watching someone or judging something that's being done and you feel it's unfair, okay? I feel things will have a breakthrough, and I feel it will go in a more positive fashion, but it almost feels like something negative is done before there's a positive. So if this is your boss, for example, you could catch this person like abusing their power or like hiring through nepotism and really like hiring someone who doesn't have the skills, someone who is immature, who is incompetent as well, but because they're either family or they're a friend, it could be that they bring someone on board who basically doesn't have the education to do the role that they're doing, and you may feel like you have to pick up the slack, for example. This will be corrected in time, because I feel like this person, they'll be so overwhelmed they'll leave, actually, is what I'm picking up on. But if you're an entrepreneur, for example, and you're currently hiring, I feel like do a little bit more due diligence on someone's resume. They may feel like there's something off, but on paper, it's like, or the paper they give you, it feels like they've got all the skill set. Just do a little bit more digging. Maybe, I would say every industry, of course, should like call a guarantor or someone who can give like a review on them. So I would just say call them, because I feel one of the people you call will call that person out. So yeah, I just feel there's something on that. So just watch out for that. If you're hiring, I feel someone doesn't have the experience that they're saying they have. Now, of course, I'm sure everybody out there at some point has added a little bit of fluff to their resume, of course, but I just feel this person, there's a big doozy on their resume and you could get caught out later on with this person. So just watch out for that. Use your intuition. I feel like you definitely know. You can feel it. And if you can feel it, maybe that person is not a candidate for the role, okay? Because I just feel, I hate giving this message, but I have to. give it. If this person is involved in any sales or taking of finances, money, tills, you know, that sort of thing, watch that person. Okay, yeah. So, because these two cards are not good cards. This can indicate that this person's a little bit sly and pocketing something that they shouldn't be. So, yeah. Some of you may be actually judging a situation like this right now, or you're doing an audit and you may notice that something is off. Okay, so it could be that someone has either been, you know, mismanaging the stock or whatever it is, and you like finally catch it out, or you realize that this person's been doing something wrong. It could be that you give this person training or a warning, or maybe you exit this person if you're an entrepreneur and you have people working for your industry. I mean, everything's digital pretty much, going that way financially right now. So maybe it's easier to see the discrepancies or the mistakes. It doesn't always have to be a discrepancy that is done on purpose. It can be an error that has been done due to, you know, mismanagement or lack of training, for example. So some of you could identify something like that over the coming weeks and months. Now, of course, not everybody is an entrepreneur. Not everybody is, you know, working a till or anything like that. Please apply it to your situation. I have to give you what is coming out in different moments. But the Fool card, you know, this is the beginning of something that makes you feel free. So if you feel like you've been micromanaged in some sort of work, or you haven't been trusted with, you know, responsibility, I feel like you are going to be. I feel this person backs off. A lot of the people who are experiencing that will witness like a managerial position leave. Someone big in the industry is leaving, and they could be retiring actually, and it just opens up the environment for more opportunity. And I feel like you may be tapped for some sort of role that becomes available that is going to bring in more wealth for you. Okay, so a lot of you I see talk or a review. You're going to have like a review period or an appraisal where there is a promotion available, and you're going to get communication of that. But you may need to wait a little bit before you can actually step into that role, because it feels logistically things need to be worked out before you can step into it. For the rest of you, you know, this can be that some of you are wanting to be a little bit more like free when it comes to your work, like working on the go, being nomadic, or being able to travel at the same time as, you know, doing your work. It could be that you're doing something digital, and maybe you're documenting, you know, you traveling or doing some sort of adventures. Maybe you're putting them online. I'm not sure what goes on these days. Everyone can do a bit of everything, I guess. But the Fool card indicates a fresh new start, but a leap of faith, an adventure in your working environment that feels like a risk, but actually because you have the skill set and the knowledge, I feel like you've got the strategy and the plan, and it's going to be a springboard towards your success, because I do see a lot of success here for you. And, you know, you're starting out focusing on your sense of purpose, your higher purpose there, your life's purpose, and you accomplish this. I feel like you're on the right path. And, you know, there may be some like paperwork, new contracts, policies, rules, regulations changing, but I feel like it will benefit you and secure your future long term is what I'm seeing there as well. I mean, this card basically means you understand what you need to do and you're called forward to go in that direction. So if it is to take a leap of faith, you know, with that Ace of Swords, launch something new or this new idea, run with that. I feel like you're being given the thumbs up by the universe, because this is where your fortune lies. You know, Ace of Swords is literally, you know, an opportunity gifted by the universe for you to transform your circumstances. You're going to see lots of meaningful coincidences. You know, I feel like things are operating for your highest good at this time, and things are going to be happening at great speed at the end of the 6 weeks there for you. But this ultimately is clarity. It's an idea. You suddenly know what to do. You suddenly are running with it. You're launching it. It's in action, and it's going to be a success. This card can literally mean that, you know, all eyes will be on you, but also it can indicate this new idea helps you manage stress levels, for example. Now, if you are having a conflict with someone in the working environment, I do see like a mediation kind of conversation, whether this is like you and a client, you and a coworker, you and a boss, whoever it is. I feel like there is a very important conversation to happen in the next coming weeks. And this person, they may try to kind of like say something that isn't true. That's coming out there. And I feel like you call them out on it, because you've either documented it or you've got the facts on it, because you're leading with integrity. And if this is something that's brought to a governing body or HR, I see that actually you present the facts and they are like Yeah, I just getting this energy of like blocked or barred or like kind of like it's a bad mark against their name. It could ruin their reputation, is what I'm seeing there for some of you, depending on whatever it is you're going through. But I'm also getting this energy with the Ace of Swords as, you know, you having a breakthrough on something that you've been problem solving for some time, something that's been on your mind. And I feel, you know, there is this breakthrough point where suddenly you're like, you located it. So if you're trying to find something that has been missing, or there's been like a discrepancy in something, maybe it's a receipt. For some of you, it could be like, you know, the end of a business working year, or you're just getting your like spreadsheets and documents in order. It could be that you can't find something. I just feel like something that was missing is found. And you're like, oh, okay, there it is. And you can like move on to the next thing for some of you. It could be an invoice, could be, you know, important document, or maybe important information. Because I feel a lot of you, information, you got a lot of like transformative energy going on here. I feel some sort of information or knowledge is going to transform your position. And a lot of you, it could be that you're like secretly putting yourself on a higher course of learning after work, and you're entering into a new pay grade based on this decision. You've got community, magnetism. I did mention like it's like all eyes on you. A lot of you, your reputation is increasing. It can also be that you are kind of like, what do you call that? Recognized for your input. You know, people love what you do is something that's coming through there as well. I'm just going to go and get some final cards before I close your reading there. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. So the card that is popping out here at me is bad gossip. Okay, and it says here, people are gossiping behind your back. It would be wise to be careful with your actions right now. Bad reputation, enemy, bad talk. It really connects to this person. So as I said, I feel like someone may say something that is not true, and you may need to stand up for something or contest it, but you're getting all the facts. Okay, so it could be like, for example, a client says, you know what, I didn't get your delivery. And you're like, well, I've got proof that it was delivered. Here's the delivery number. Here's the order. Here's the photograph of it being at your door. You know, it can be like literally you've got the documents in place and saying, look, I'm calling you out. You did get it. For some of you, it could be like someone says they couldn't do their piece of work because you didn't get something ready in time, and you're like, that's not true. Here's the email that documents all the facts, like the time and the date. And, you know, it just feels like you're presenting the facts. And also, for some of you, as I mentioned, copyright or patent your work. It can be that, you know, someone is watching behind the scenes and is thinking about taking something for themselves. Now, we do have rebuilding. And it says here, oh, thanks so much, I'm so grateful. My guides also just said, do not take part in any gossip or any kind of like negative talk about anyone in your working environment, because it will get back to that person, and this person has friends in high places. Okay, so no matter what industry you're in, I feel like there's a boomerang of like bad gossip, and it comes back to you if you're involved in it. So just be a little bit mindful. I mean, we should all be acting in our highest regards, but sometimes we can find ourselves in like a circle of people who suddenly start talking negatively about someone, or gossiping, or judging someone. And I feel at this time you really don't need to be part of that. I mean, we shouldn't be part of that anyway, but you know, if you or in that circle when it's happening, there could be someone walking past and just witnessed and hear what's happening, and you were just there. You may not have said anything or took part in it, but you're there. So if anything like that happens, remove yourself immediately from that situation, because I feel it could be detrimental to your path. So yeah, just going to leave that there. We've got rebuilding, reevaluate your life and adjust to thrive in your new circumstances. Focus on you and what you can control. Reinvent, revise, and fixing. And I see a lot of you doing that right now. You know, some of you are literally fixing finances. For some of you with that Two of Pentacles in the resistance position, you know, there could be something that you need to call in, like an engineer or, you know, a technician to help you with something, fix something. So you may have to give out some money in the next 6 weeks to repair something. I feel it's something that perhaps you've been watching and knowing that at some point you're going to have to fix this or get someone in. You may have even tried to fix it yourself and it did it for a time, but now it's got to a critical stage where you'll have to do that. But it's not so much money that it won't be replenished. I want you to be aware of that. We do have spiritual tests here. I do feel some of you have been going through a bit of a testing time, but I feel like it's because you're moving into a higher position, or, you're leveling up in your career. Sometimes things get chaotic and a little bit like pressurized when you're about to make a major breakthrough and a difference on something. And it says you're on the path to discover your spiritual gifts so you may grow and evolve spiritually, inner work, awareness, and calling. So all of your cards are connecting to your sense of purpose and calling. And I love that you literally have a card with gifts on it there, which says you have many talents. You have a lot of skills to discover and use for good. Do not sell yourself short. Okay, so negotiating better deals. A lot of you are, maybe even diversifying or internationally connecting and expanding your business in some way. I do feel as well, if some of you are in a very competitive arena and someone kind of like negatively talks about you or tries to like say something bad about you or your services, I feel like the person who's listening to it, they see the truth and they may even call them out on it. I feel if anyone is negative about competition, it normally means they're projecting. They feel insecure that, the other person is doing way better or is actually more talented, and they want to knock them down or, put a bad negative spin on their services because they're not capable of the success. So I feel, people will see through that. As I mentioned before, it's like people are looking over here and then suddenly they're looking at you. So I feel that's in a positive way. A lot of you, it could be that you are launching a new product or brand or something that is going to get a lot of attention at this time, or maybe even a new strategy that gets attention and it connects you to higher positions there. We have community, good time to make new connections. The universe may send some beneficial alliances your way. Friends, your tribe, and socializing. Great time to network. I think I mentioned right at the beginning with the Lover's card, networking opportunities, but if I didn't, I definitely see that, you could meet a new alliance that has information that will help you. This could also be someone that you watch or you see is doing something that you would like to do, and you'll learn from this person to avoid the pitfalls so you can launch successfully whatever path it is that you're trying to launch. We've got magnetism. Definitely, you are magnetic at this time. You're calling in opportunity, and although the Two of Pentacles is there, which does mean you're multitasking, and it also means like moving money around to make things work. Some of you are like saving some and maybe even dipping into savings to repair something. But ultimately, I feel like you are on the path to increasing your finances. And it says, a magnetic force surrounds you. You're being given the power to manifest your dreams into reality, drawing closer, persuasion, and power. So, you can negotiate better deals. You are very persuasive at this time, and doors are opening up for you so that you can get whatever it is that you want. And finally, we have creative work. So again, it came up in your reading. Some of you may be doing something on the side that is creative, or you're finding yourself in a creative industry and utilizing your resources to do many things that bring in different pools of money. And it says, use your inspiration to find ways to make more money. That's exactly what your reading was about. Express your genius. Of course, I missed that. When you have a King of Swords that goes into the upright, it means you have incredible ideas. Tap into your genius. You have a wealth of knowledge. And I feel some of you are not utilizing fully that knowledge, but you will tap into an alternative path that brings you an opportunity to increase later on, okay? So I'll just get a trinket or rune before we close. Okay, we have got, I'm loving that. So first off, we have, the God rune, which is all about wisdom, knowledge. So yeah, it really connects to this. Some of you may feel like you're learning something. You may even learn as you earn, apprentice energy there. But, this basically means intuitively you have all the knowledge. You're naturally gifted. But it also indicates that you may be doing something where you have to reveal a truth or stand up for something that you believe in. Can also indicate that the universe is on your side, backing you. And also, I'm getting an energy that some of you may be reinvesting in yourself by accumulating new knowledge, higher wisdom, maybe through a course of learning or going back to college, university, or even like getting a qualification or certification on the side to open up new pay grades for you there as well. And finally, the most important message of all, believe. Believe and receive, okay? Thoughts become things, and you have two major cards of thought. King of Swords, Ace of Swords. Dream it to being. you can have it. If you can see it in your mind, you can have it in your hand. So believe, believe, believe. Very important there. And I feel like you're actually going to see the word believe everywhere you go over the next 6 weeks. So look out for that. Could be a little sign, could be a little sticker, could be like on a reel. Maybe someone says the word believe a lot, not just this reading, but you know, in a movie, for example. So yeah, please take it as it resonates. I'll leave it there, my beautiful Aquarians. I hope something resonates in some way, shape, or form. And thank you so much, and love and light.